What is going on, guys? It is your boy TKD123 here, back in here on PlayStation Source. This is, of course, Save Slot Podcast, episode 11, the weekly news show about any and all things PS5, PlayStation games, and PlayStation itself. With me, of course, my luxurious co-host, the Arachnid. How are you doing, good sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm, doing good. It hit 90 degrees here. You know, the fun's over.
Fun's over.
The fun is over. Our power bills are going up, you know what I'm saying? Clothes are being taken off, so, you know. Bro? What? Clothes are being taken off, though, so I guess that's somewhat of a positive, you know?
Bro?
Oh, man. Huh?
You're gonna start off the show with that?
Hey, man, look. I don't even know why you're calling me out for being horny on main when I've seen a lot of RE8 debacle here going on. I see a lot of Lady Dumatresque or whatever her name is, you know?
It is an observation of game development. Nothing more.
A critique in art design, huh? Is that what it is? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Y'all just examining that RE engine, huh? Okay. I see. It's quite, you know, it's not on the news docket, but I gotta say, I was very impressed by that PS4 Pro RE8 gameplay. You know what I'm saying?
The RE engine is crazy good.
Yeah. Definitely. Like we saw it firsthand on Switch too, with its debut on Switch with Monster Hunter Rise. You know, that game looks pretty good. You know what I'm saying? People are saying like it looks amazing. I don't think it looks amazing. You know, maybe it looks amazing for Switch, I guess, but it looks good. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to that. And also, side note, before we get into the whole rigmarole of housekeeping and all that, I do praise Capcom, you know, for showing PS4 Pro gameplay footage, unlike Cyberpunk, which, you know, did not. And it seems like they're at least being front forward and honest about the lowest common denominator within Resident Evil 8. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the lowest common denominator is a PS4 base.
Fair. That's fair. At least one of the lower common denominator. Well, it's not even lower. You know what I'm saying, right? Like, at least they're showing the last gen models of the games, right? I don't know.
Something like that.
I'll give him some credit, you know. I'll give him some credit. But of course, housekeeping here, you can catch the show here on youtube.com/PlayStation Source, as well as podcast services like Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, via our anchor link in the description. You can also like the video and or rate the podcast to help us get seen by more viewers so we can grow the PSS family. Down below, you can let us know what you like or dislike about the show and connect with us further on Twitter and Discord in the description. If you're feeling generous, feel free to hit that join button to become a member of the channel with that $1 Prince tier and that $5 King tier membership as well. And of course, you can check out the stream series throughout the week if you missed it. They're on the public playlist on the channel, but the individual streams are unlisted. We did wrap up Resistance, and we're on the precipice of beating Metal Gear Solid 3 next week. So I'm sure those will be in the discussion as well. But let's check on those podcast reviews. Or I ask you to check on that green front over there on Spotify.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna check over here on the purple front. You know, see what we got here. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, I feel like last week we had 3 ratings, but now we have 4. But last week we could have easily had 4, and I'm just forgetting.
Last week we did get a new one.
One individual new one?
I believe so.
Okay. So, guys, this is what we like to see, okay? You know, I don't see any written reviews. That's a bit unfortunate, you know, even though I have given you guys free will to insult me. You know, don't insult Arachnid, though. Leave him alone, all right? Is that manageable? Is that fair, Arachnid?
I can take him.
Really?
Yeah.
Alright, fuck it. Insult him too. Whatever. Fuck it. Anything on Spotify?
Not that I can see.
Well. At least they're on the superior podcast service. At least they're on there. You know what I'm saying? At least they're out here doing the good work. But I've been talking for too much. Iraq Knight, what have you been playing this week? It's one of your first early weeks with the PlayStation 5. I know you got the PC still though, but you're playing anything on either of these systems? You know?
I've been playing a lot of Ghost again.
Yes. Isn't it incredible?
It looks phenomenal. Like,
it's stunning.
Ghost looked good on PS4, but I went back and I looked at it real quick on PS4 compared to PS5, and my god, is it a jump.
So good, bro. It's so good.
It's great. The controller is so nice to use. Like, so for photo mode, it's a lot of using the right stick, which, you know, in games you use for the camera. But I like how the controller feels because I'm able to make like small adjustments. I feel more easily than I could on a DualShock 4. It's like I need the camera to rotate just a little bit to the left or right, and it feels like I have like a better grip on the controller, so I can do that. So that's been great. Ghost has been a lot of fun to revisit. Like, I forgot how immersed I got in that game when I first played it. I could feel it come back the more I played it.
Beautiful.
Yeah, no, it's a great game, and I've taken, I think, some of my favorite shots ever in Ghost.
Yeah, you've been popping off lately on your Twitter. I implore everyone to go down in that description and check out the Twitter from the homie Iraq Knight, because there's some quality content up on there as well, for sure.
Yeah, no, like, I'm super happy with what the PS5 can do. Like how it looks, how it runs, everything is great. I did play a little Demon's Souls.
Okay, how did that go?
It was fine. Not too bad. It was like, I was less into it than I thought I would be.
Really?
Yeah, no, I was having a good time with it, but I just really wanted, like, I really just wanted to get back to Ghost. It's like maybe I'll just finish Ghost again, and then I'll pop into Demon's Souls, because like when I was playing it, it's like I wish I was playing Ghost.
I see.
So I took a little break from Demon's Souls. I played for like 2 hours, and I had a good time with it.
Does it look as gorgeous as like everyone says it does?
It looks pretty good. I would agree. It runs well. It looks great. It's just a good experience through and through, like graphically.
I see.
But I like the PS5 has been a great thing to have. I have the smallest, dumbest complaint.
What's up?
So I have it on my desk next to, next to my keyboard and mouse. So if I'm like cracking open a cold one,
right.
the white color of the console always catches some of it. And I'm not cracking it right next to it. It's just like, since it's the console's white, any blemish is clear as day.
Wait. Are you saying you've cracked open a cold one and some of the residue of the cold one has been dropping on said PlayStation 5?
Yeah, like a little bits. It's like, I wish the console were black, so at least I wouldn't have to see it. No, but I keep like a rag at my desk, so I just clean it up immediately. But I'm always just like double checking. It's like, are you good?
Dude, I'm obsessed with getting a micro fiber cloth.
Yeah. And
going on the black glossy part of the console and getting a little bit of dust off. You know, just every like few days. You know, you gotta just wipe it down.
Yeah, no, that's what I've been doing. Is like making it look as pristine as possible. And
absolutely.
I remember when you got like ink or whatever on your controller.
Oh my god.
And
yes.
When I saw it and you were like obsessed with cleaning it, it's like, how bad can that really feel? Like, it's like, oh, my controller has a blemish on it. Like, how bad can that really feel? But seeing the controller and having it be my own, I would have done the same thing.
Dude, it was god awful, bro. I thought I was really like, I thought I ruined the controller straight up. Nah, man, you just get some rubbing alcohol, you'll be good. That's all you need. Yeah. It's some willpower, some grit, and some rubbing alcohol, and you can get it out.
You can get it. What I'm saying? I'm proud of you.
Thanks, man.
Man. I did also finish Persona 3.
What the fuck, bro? You just beat Persona 4 last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please do tell. How was Persona 3? How was it?
It is my least favorite of the like the modern Persona games.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean it's a bad game. Like, there were some things that I just didn't like because it's an older game, and I'm playing them like in the reverse order that you should. Each game should have quality of life improvements, graphical improvements, but I'm going from newest to oldest, so obviously there are going to be some issues there that got fixed in the later games. So no complaints there, because I know they eventually do get fixed. Some narrative things that I don't like, but overall it was a good time. However, like, I'm glad they went the route they did. Do you remember in Persona 4 how they had like the castles or the palaces or whatever?
Yeah. In
Persona 3 you get one area, but it has 200 floors that you have to go through.
What the whoa. Interesting.
Yeah, you have one area that is just a tower.
Right.
So you just have to go all the way up the tower throughout the course of the story, and that gets really repetitive really fast.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm assuming you can leave that area and then come back to it.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Right. So, like, I mean, when you come back to it, do you have to start at the first level, or
no.
do you?
There are checkpoints every 10 or so floors.
I see. Okay, interesting. Okay.
So, but let's say you physically cannot keep going on the 9th floor, and you have to leave, and you're on floor 149, and the checkpoint's on floor 150. You have to go back to floor 140 where the last checkpoint was, and then climb back up those stairs.
Right, and I'm assuming, you know, the first level floor, right, is very easy compared to floor 149.
Yeah, it scales progressively.
Yeah. So, I mean, even like, yeah, it's only 10 levels, right? But even starting back at 140, I'm sure is a feat in itself to go from 140 to 150.
Yeah, it takes course over the entire game, like reaching all the way to the top. So you get stronger, but it's not a matter of difficulty, because I'm playing on baby difficulty. As much as it is just patience, because there were a lot of times where it's like, well, I am bored, and I have 60 more floors to go.
Damn. Yeah. Huh. Okay. Interesting. How does it hold up, like, narratively? Like, is the story good at least?
Yeah, it's solid. It's a solid story. There are a lot of moments that hit harder than Persona 4 and 5. Like, some really strong moments. Like,
interesting.
It's definitely worth playing, especially since you have a PS2. Like, I would recommend people play Persona 3. I enjoyed it, even though I said it was my least favorite. Like, it's like saying the Uncharted games. Like, you have a least favorite Uncharted because you kind of have to, but that doesn't mean it's a bad game. Like, Uncharted,
I totally understand that.
Yeah, Uncharted 1's my least favorite, but I would be wrong if I said it was a bad game.
Right. I hear you.
So Persona 3, really solid. I rebought Royal for my PS5, or Persona 5 Royal, and I will be.
I think it was on sale, right? Like, wasn't there like a spring sale?
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I was like, yeah, I'm kind of on a Persona binge right now. I bought Persona Q 1 and 2 for my 3DS.
This man is wildin' today. This man wildin'. Hell yeah.
That I've noticed it. I noticed it a few years ago. That always, whenever I get into something, it is an obsession for like 6 months. And then I take a break and I come back, normally, periodically, over the course of, years later. In 2018 is when I first got into Persona. It's like, yeah, that was okay. But I didn't want to buy a PS2 to play Persona 4 and 3. And then Persona 4 got put on Steam, and the rest has been logged on the show. But other than that, I haven't really been playing much because I finished a whole JRPG in like a week. So it's just been those 2 games.
Yeah. Like, I don't know about you, but like when I finish a long game, right? Like whether it be, Ghost, Death Stranding, Red Dead Redemption 2 was pretty long for me as well. I need like a few days, to just not play anything,
No.
Just kind of step back, kind of reset,
Couldn't be me. The night I finished Persona 4, I jumped straight into Persona 3.
See, just call me Batman. I need a little prep time, I need some prep time between my gaming binges. You know what I'm saying? It just be like that sometimes.
Couldn't.
No.
It depends on like if I had a good time doing it, like,
right,
because we've all finished long games, and at the end of it is like that just like that felt like a slog.
Yeah, I hear you.
At those times, it's like, all right, I'm gonna play something like casual for like a day or two, or like some to clear the palate, a little Ultra Kill, a little Doom, something like that, and then I'll come back to something else later. Because, but when you had a good time doing it, especially in the same series, I can jump from game to game. Like, I started my save with Royal as soon as I was done with Persona 3.
Yeah, I would need I would need to take a minute,
Yeah, like the Dragon Age games. I finished Dragon Age 1 like one night, immediately booted up Dragon Age 2 to play that. And those are like 40-50 hour games, like back to back. And as soon as I was done with Dragon Age 2, I tried Inquisition, didn't like it, and then went straight to Persona. And then Persona 4 to 3, now 3 to 5.
I hear you.
We've been on a marathon.
You've been gaming out here in these streets, man.
Gaming out here in these, like, what else is there to do?
Yeah, you got a solid point. Anything else you've been playing this week, or?
Nope.
All right, good to hear.
What about you?
I can't wait to hear your Persona updates next week, of course. But let's start with Final Fantasy 15. Okay, I beat this game, Arachnite. Again, I don't want to talk about the ending, right? I don't want to spoil it for people. But I enjoyed where the story ended off. You know what I'm saying? I can definitively say that, hey, overall, 15 was no 7 remake for me, right? And maybe it was because 7 remake was my first blush into the series, and 7 remake requires, like, around, I'd say, like 30-40 hours to beat, as opposed to 15, where I did mostly mainline and then did some side stuff. It took me, I think, about like 22 hours or 23 hours, right? So I haven't spent a ton of time in Final Fantasy 15 overall, right, upon beating the game. So you couple that notion with me enjoying Final Fantasy 15. I've decided, Arachnite, that I'm going to do the DLC as soon as possible. I was going to wait a little bit. I was going to come back to it at another date. But looking at these DLC episodes, they're 2 hours apiece. I really want to get into them and just explore more of the world and get the full scope of Final Fantasy 15. So I'll be doing, I think in order, it's episode Gladios, episode Ignis, episode Prompto, and then episode Arden is the last one. So they're all downloaded, ready to go. I'm gonna get in that as soon as possible. But overall, I thought it was a great experience. I really enjoyed myself with Final Fantasy 15, and again, like, I just can't believe there's that other third, like the last bit of the game, Arachnite. You know what I'm talking about, right? You know, this where you come back, if you will, to the world of 15, you know, and it's completely changed. You know, I think it's so cool, man. But overall, I was definitely impressed with Final Fantasy 15, you know, and definitely I think it's to say that, hey, I enjoy Final Fantasy now. You know, I'm looking more closely at 16. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I'm right there with you. Like, as soon as I'm done. Actually, I don't know. I might take a little breather from Persona, just for a little bit, and I gotta start playing Life is Strange 2.
Oh hell yeah, bro!
And as soon as I'm done with that, I have 11 Final Fantasy games to go through before 16 comes out. I have 11.
Yeah. I don't know about you, bro, but I am definitely playing Final Fantasy 16 day one.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
100%. That's not even a cap. And this one with 16, it is in that kind of old school, like medieval, not really medieval, but you know what I'm saying, like the more like I don't even know how to put it, but a bit of high fantasy type vibes, you know, with 16. So that's been something that I know definitely is not really a turn on for me personally. Both 7 Remake and 15 were this, you know, kind of futuristic, you know, kind of steampunk-esque with 7 Remake, and more of just a bit of a modern twist on some elements in Final Fantasy 15, right? That I typically enjoy in my media and all that. I'm not really into high fantasy. I'm not into, you know, like literal spells and you know, wizards and whatever. You know what I'm saying? Wands, I don't know. You know, witches, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not really. Yeah, like, I don't know. I like capes though. Capes can stay. But everything else I'm not a big fan of, so we'll see how 16 rubs off of me, but just purely off of gameplay, I'm in that for sure. I'm in it, you know. So we will see. But overall, Final Fantasy 15 was a great experience. I can't wait to jump into that DLC. Another game we beat was Resistance Fall of Man. You can watch the full stream series on the channel, on the playlist. And I was impressed by Fall of Man. I'm not saying it's the greatest game in the world, Arachnite. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's like a Titanfall 2 type of perfect FPS story, right? But it's a very good one. You know, I think it really is something that I understand the hype for. You know, in a similar vein that I now see the hype with Ratchet and Clank. You know, like how good those games are pound for pound. You know, Resistance Fall of Man, like, it's not doing anything crazy with like in-depth upgrades and everything, given its 2007 release. No, I'm sorry, 2006 release date. But I think when you take into account that this is a game that is 15 years old at this point, that came out launch day on the PlayStation 3. This was Insomniac's, you know, first go at a first-person shooter. Like, I think they did a really, really good job with this game. Like, I'm really, really impressed. I love where we end off with this story. Like, seemingly that we, you know, defeat the Chimera in Britain, in the UK, and we'll see where we go in Resistance 2. But overall, man, I thought it was a great game. I have really, really enjoyed it, you know. So we'll be starting Resistance 2 next week on the channel, so definitely check out that. Tuesday night and Thursday night we'll be getting into some Resistance 2, so definitely excited for that. Let me see what else I'm playing here. We'll jump to Metal Gear Solid 3. Metal Gear Solid 3. Right. Have you played Metal Gear Solid 3?
A long time ago.
Long time ago. Okay, all right. So we're doing Long Play Club, of course, youtube.com/joyclicks. Hear my full thoughts on Metal Gear Solid there from week to week. But we're streaming it on Wednesdays, of course. And this game is weird. You know, this this specific Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater is a weird title. You know, it's just a weird game, right? Like I'm not saying I'm not enjoying it, right? But it is a very slow burn in the beginning, and we're set to beat this game this week on Wednesday. And apparently it's a pretty meaty section, and that's where we're gonna get a lot of where the story wraps up and really, in a way, low-key picks up, because for the majority of MGS3, as far as I've been playing it, man, it's just like, okay, we've been introduced to what we're doing in the story, but we haven't really progressed in that narrative in like 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see how it all wraps up. I'm very excited to just, see the end, just to see how this narrative wraps up in a nice bow. You know what I'm saying? But overall, man, I'm still enjoying it. It's my least favorite Metal Gear Solid as of right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which, yeah, it's
a very hot take from.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
you see,
people ride or die for Snake Eater.
But why? Like, I haven't seen why yet, and I'm hoping that this week on Wednesday, on Wednesday night's Metal Gear Solid 3 stream, that I see that. But at this point, bro, I think Naked Snake sucks ass. I think all the villains suck ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only interesting character is honestly Ocelot, if that's even Ocelot, because I don't know at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's the only interesting character, to be honest. Like, Naked Snake, I don't like that much at all. And the cast of villains are horrible.
All the pieces will start wrapping themselves up as you keep playing, because, like any other Metal Gear game, it gets really weird really fast. Like, it takes, like, a really sharp turn. It's, like, government conspiracies and all that other Metal Gear shit.
Yeah, like, that's how it's gone definitely for Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2. So I know that this last episode is gonna get crazy. I do know that. But I'm just, because I was enjoying Metal Gear Solid 1 and Metal Gear Solid 2 the whole way through. With this game, I am not having that same thought, so if this game can turn it all around in this last stream, I'm gonna be very shocked. Like, I'm gonna be shocked for sure. But if you remember a little bit of MGS3, I am heading up to the mountains. I just beat the boss fight called The End, if you recall him, that old man.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just beat him, and we're going up the mountain to do all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. We'll see, but so far, definitely my least favorite Metal Gear Solid so far, for sure. What else have I been playing? Arachnite. I'm still on that Road Company grind, man. I'm telling you, bro. I'm gonna go pro. I'm gonna go professional on this game, for real. I got access to a new rogue. I unlocked it. You know what I'm saying? Via in-game challenges and all that great stuff, and all that in-game reputation that you get in Rogue Company. It's fantastic, Arachnite. I'm having a great time. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm happy for you.
That's all I'm gonna say. At some point, I gotta take off Rogue Company PS5 off what I've been playing, because I don't say anything new about it, to be honest. Just other than that, it's good. But I do want to make sure that everyone's aware that Rogue Company is fantastic, and it's free to play. That's all I'm saying.
I'm happy for you.
This motherfucker. Last of here. I just got my tiptoes into the retail version of Outriders. Of course, People Can Fly previously developed Gears of War and Bulletstorm, I believe, as well. It's available on Game Pass if you are interested in checking it out for a low price. But of course, I paid for it over here on the PS5. You know what I'm saying? Arachnite, we out here paying for games. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we're gonna be paying for another game too, but we'll talk about that in a little bit later. Outriders. Are you gonna check it out? I believe you have Game Pass. Oh wait, no, I don't think you do have Game Pass. I forgot.
I do. It's just like I got rid of it, but I could go back.
Right. I mean,
Or, like,
is it on the PC version of Game Pass? That's also a question. I know not all games are. Yeah.
I don't think so. I haven't heard anything regarding it, but I also haven't looked too closely.
Okay.
Like
okay.
that
Well,
demo kind of turned me off from the game.
Understandable. You know, Outriders is gonna be one of the Kevin games where it's really what I've been describing it as. It's the Division meets Destiny for me personally.
I agree.
Yeah, it's 100%. That's what that game is. It's those two things mixed together, to be honest. And I love Division 2. I love Destiny, so it works for me. You know what I'm saying? So I spent maybe like an hour with the retail version. Nothing too crazy. The only thing I do want to say that they did improve is they did add the ability to remove the motion blur, which was a big critique I had with the demo. So you can take it off, and the final build, it looks great without it. Look, it's looking great. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't look like the best game, right, on next gen hardware. But I still think it looks good. You know, it looks like lowercase good. You know what I'm saying, Arachnite?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It looks good, but not insane, right? But yeah, I'm still enjoying it. I plan to continue the story and beat it at least this month. So definitely wow, that was a fuck up. Be on the lookout for my Outriders impressions as we continue on Save Slot. So far so good, man. So far so good. So we've been doing some gaming here. You know what I'm saying? All that great stuff. In case you missed it on the channel, we did cover in a live stream on Monday the PlayStation Store officially closing, which we will get to that in our first news topics, because that's now official. We did have a discussion about it last week as the main topic, just well, no, like it wasn't the main topic, but we talked a lot about it last week. And you can just basically apply last week's topic to being true now instead of us saying that it was rumored. So that's pretty much what it is right there, but we'll touch a little bit on it later on. I did rank the Ratchet and Clank games, so you can check out that as well if you're interested in my ranking on all those games after streaming all of them. Once again, you can watch those streams on public playlist on the channel. We also did a recap of the PS Plus games for April 2021. And I will go over those in a little bit. But first up, Arachnite, I got to give some love. I'm sure if you guys are on the podcast feed, right? I'm sure you guys saw it on the feed yesterday by the time you guys are listening to this podcast. But we did announce Road to Rift Apart. It's going down. It's happening. It's going live every Friday at 10 a.m. on podcast services and youtube.com/PlayStation Source. And it will be co-hosting with Tajay, the homie Tajay. He's a big Ratchet and Clank fan, and definitely wanted to come on. So we'll be doing just a weekly podcast. It's not going to be as long as Save Slot podcast. It's going to be very much a Road to series in terms of like the max runtime is going to be probably like an hour 15, hour 30 at absolute maximum. We might go a little bit longer for spoiler cast and all that. But I'm very excited for Road to Rift Apart, and I kind of went off on the beat with that intro. That's all I'm saying. So definitely go check it out. Definitely excited for that. And of course, Arachnite will of course pop up if he does get the game on some review episodes, spoiler casts. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So that's that. Definitely excited to start Road to Rift Apart. What's up? Go ahead.
It's the first podcast I haven't been co-hosting in a year and a half.
Yeah, man, it's weird, bro. It's weird. You know, it's weird. But hey, I can't help it, bro. You're not into. I mean, you just haven't played the Ratchet and Clank games, right? So like it, as much as I would love to have you on as a co-host, I don't think it would fit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I'm not passionate about Ratchet and Clank, so I wouldn't be able to put too much into it.
Right. But things like, of course, Spider-Man 2 makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I'm there.
Right. Absolutely. Are you there for Horizon?
No.
Okay. Good to know.
Horizon was a game I played, thought it was solid, and that was it. It never hit me the same way that it hit other people.
Okay. 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 We'll see. We'll see who I get for that. I suppose we will see. But now I turned the Arachnite PS5 watch to be just updates on PS5 inventory, sales figures, all that great stuff, right? But the first thing I wanted to talk to you about, Arachnite, I saw this on Twitter Monday morning, and I was blown away. I linked it down below here in the description, but someone built a gaming PC for the weekend. I'm a huge Weekend fan, in case you guys didn't know. I assume Arachnite already knew that, but just in case you didn't, I'm a big Weekend fan. And they built this Blinding Lights-esque type of after-hours themed PC for the weekend. And listen, this PC right here, Arachnite, this one right here, when I make fun of PC, it's not this one. You know what I'm saying? It's not this one. That's all I had to say. You know what I'm saying? No, go ahead.
I don't know. I can. I feel cautious with my take.
Do you not like The Weeknd? That's okay.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Over some of the PCs I've seen, and even my baby, I wouldn't take it.
You're a coward. You know that.
If it can only stay the color palettes that it was, like, I know they're programmable, you can change them. If I could change them, I don't know. But if it came as it was and I couldn't change it, yeah, no. I'm gonna be real here.
Now, I'm kind of with you because, I'm not a fan of red. Right, that's not my bag. I don't like red.
All right. You're really gonna come after me like that?
No, sir. I'm sorry. Are you red?
Yeah. Literally everything. If I took a picture of my setup, even my Hydra, which is right here, is red. Everything is red. Like my lights, my controller, my keyboard, my mouse, my vessels of refreshment, my headset,
vessels of refreshment,
and
I like that.
My headset and my mic, everything is red.
Listen, all I'm saying is that if we were to cancel a color, I would be down to cancel red.
Orange is right there.
Orange is tolerable.
You're gonna tell me in the year of our Lord 2021, with some of the fire shots I have taken in Ghost of Tsushima with a red background, you're gonna tell me we're gonna get rid of red and not like orange or like lime green?
What's wrong with lime green?
Ugly.
What's wrong with orange?
Ugly.
Nah, man.
Tell me.
Red has just too much negative juju with it. Fire, hell. When you end the call, it's a red button. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop at a stop sign, red lights.
I think you're a coward.
You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of negativity with
I think you're just not. I think you're just not strong enough to handle red.
Oh man,
like you got
maybe I'm not.
Daredevil.
Daredevil's cool.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man has some blue in it, so it's fine.
But come on, man. Batman Beyond.
Batman has some black in it, It's alright. I don't mind red as an accent color necessarily. You know what I'm saying? If it's accented, that's, it is what it is. But, like, all red,
Daredevil is literally right there.
Yeah. Daredevil's, you know what? Daredevil, Iron Man, they can stay. They're you, Arachnite as well. You can stay.
You
everything
like
else
blue
gets
and
canceled.
yellow, gamer. That's
I do.
One of the worst color combinations I've ever heard.
Okay, now you're just fucking around. Don't even insult me. Next up here, on the Ragnar PS5 watch, PS5 sales are steadily improving in Japan. This comes to us from Semi Barker at push score, link below in the description. We have observed, they said here, from Famitsu sales data that the system has now sold over 500,000 units in its home territory in Japan. So it is getting a steady increase of sales figures in Japan, which is good to hear and good to see, you know what I'm saying? And it looks like here there was an update to this article as well, because they were given some new data from March 22nd to March 28th of this year. They say, quote, PlayStation 5 continued its excellent sales streak, shipping another 62,295 units, putting its life-to-date total at 580,211 units in Japan. Of course, they do note here that the Switch is obliterating every console in Japan, of course, but PlayStation is still, you know, seeing an increase and an uptick in people buying the system in Japan. So that's cool right there. What is this, Arachne? What is this, bro?
You're gonna tell me?
Oh, that's Ghost, bro. I thought that was the Snyder cut,
bro.
From afar, I thought that was the homie. What? What's his name, bro? Huh?
Steppenwolf? Like the
is that his name?
Yeah,
the big metal
the big bad. Yeah, that's Steppenwolf.
I thought he was Darkseid.
Well, Darkseid is the guy with the Omega symbol. He's gray. Well, like all gray. Steppenwolf has like silver armor.
Why did the Snyder Cut have to get released? You know, like why?
God, you'll have the worst takes sometimes. I
mean, you know what? I'm just fucking around with the Snyder Cut. I've only seen an hour of it, you know. But I just can't bring myself to watch the full thing. I know I have to at some point, you know.
All I'm saying, the whole reason I said that is you're gonna tell me that red's a bad color, and look at that. That is fire. That is great. Red is a beautiful color.
How do I say that I don't like red, but red is a good color on things? How do I say that properly? I'm just not a personal fan.
No, yeah, I'm like, I know. I'm just fucking with you. But I'm just saying, like, you're getting rid of red when there are other colors right there hurt me. I felt it in my soul.
Is there a color that we can cancel that we agree upon?
I still think, like, a lime green can go. Like a light green?
I don't know. I don't really like neon that. I don't like the bright yellow neon or bright pink neon.
I think we can get I was gonna say we can get rid of yellow, but it's like half of your shtick.
Yeah, nah, yellow's kinda gotta stay. You know what I'm saying? Yellow's I mean, hey, I'm getting rid of your red, so if you want to do a fair trade and get rid of my yellow, that's fine.
Nah. Yeah, there's some cool yellow. I still think orange can go.
Orange is alright. Orange can stay. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Orange can stay. But last week, of course, we talked a lot about the closures for the PSP store, PS3, and the PS Vita store for PlayStation Store, and it has been announced to be official. So we got some new info here in terms of, there was a question last week of if we're going to be able to download purchased games that we have on our account. We can still download games that are purchased before the cutoff dates for both of the stores, and those will be available for us to download in the future, right? So just to reiterate, of course, on July 2nd, PS3 and PSP PlayStation stores will be taken offline, and the PS Vita store will shut down August 27th. And so they do say that if a game has, let me see if I can remember, cross-buy functionality with PS3 and PS Vita or PS3 and PSP, you will still be able to redeem said games on those platforms with no problem. You're still going to be able to redeem game code vouchers if you have those laying around and you haven't redeemed them yet. Those will not turn off. You will still be able to redeem PS Plus memberships on those platforms as well if you have those there. Pretty much the only thing that you won't be able to do is buy brand new games from the stores, right? So I know we talked about this a lot, so I don't know how much time we really have to spend on this, but do you have any thoughts, Arachnite, about this whole thing now that it's official?
Emulation has gone up. From what I've been hearing, people have been emulating games a lot more. I wonder why.
Yeah. And at this particular junction for these specific hardware platforms, I don't care, right? Like if you know, like especially if it comes after they shut down the stores, right? And you really want to play a game and you emulate it, I have no ill will or shame to throw at you. You know what I'm saying? A couple things that were also announced along with this news was that the PS Vita messaging system will also go offline. So right now, currently, I could message Arachnite off of my PS5. I mean, I'm sorry, off of my Vita, and I could send a message to his PS5 if I wanted to, right? But that will be taken offline when the store also is taken offline. And there was a cool article as well on Pushware. Well, not cool in like it's the greatest terms, but they compiled all of the digital only games that are on all of these different platforms, and they broke down this list. Around 730 digital only PS3 games, around 630 digital only PS Vita games, a small number of digital only PSP games, 293 PlayStation Minis, 336 PlayStation 2 classics, and around 260 PlayStation 1 classics will all be gone when these stores shut down. And that kind of sucks. You know? And that just kind of sucks, Arachnite. You know what I'm saying? That's over 2,200 digital games just will essentially cease to exist.
Yikes.
You know what I'm saying? That hurts, man. Kind of sucks.
That does kind of suck.
But
those emulation sites looking pretty good right now.
Hey, man. Hey, again, you know, that's hey. If that's the wave, and there's no other way to play these games via buying them or purchasing them, I say by all means, sir, go at it, King. You know. So I'm still, you know, building my list on different Vita games that I still have to buy, because I don't see myself buying any PS3 games or any PSP games, to be honest, but mainly it's the Vita that I'm really looking for. So yeah, man. Yeah, it sucks. And I think the biggest thing that, I think the last thing I want to highlight on this topic is that I don't know if you've been seeing, Arachnite, but there have been a lot of developers that were developing for the PlayStation Vita that have now had to cancel their games because they were not told ahead of time that they were, you know, shutting down the store on the Vita. You know?
I heard that's horrible.
That's fucked up, man. They were selling dev kits for the Vita like a month before this. It's bullshit. That
is horrible. It reminds me, it's not the example I'm about to use isn't nearly as bad, but it's like the Cyberpunk team got told they were delaying the game like last minute. It's like, oh, the game's set to launch soon. It's like, oh yeah, we're delaying it, and they didn't. Only the higher ups know.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, we're almost done with the game. Then we can take a break and come back and fix it. Not even the social media manager knew, because like a day before, they said, it's like, yeah, like a guy asked, it's like, am I good to take the day off next week? And they're like, yeah, go for it. And then the next day is like, oh yeah, by the way, we delayed again.
Yeah, that was fucking ass, bro.
I would have been crushed. I would have been if I had taken the day off for Cyberpunk, I would have been crushed in two different ways. If I took the day off and they're like, well, never mind, sorry, that would have hurt. Also, if the game did release and I took the day off to play Cyberpunk, that also would have hurt. It's like, all right, I've been waiting for this game for like 8 years. Let's play it. Wow, this game kind of ass.
Oh man, I mean, like, besides all that, right? Like, not even trying to belittle the point that you're making, because I do agree with that notion. Like, another two is that, like, these developers make games for their livelihood. Yeah. Right. Like, so yeah, I'm not saying that all devs do that, right? Like, there are some devs that have a 9 to 5 that come home after work and they're making a game, right? But there are other developers, and probably the majority, right? Maybe, but of course there are devs that rely on putting out games for an income. So for you to have the knowledge of and know that developers are working on games for your platform, and then you cut the store and not even make them aware of it, it's just like the biggest backhand disrespect, spin in the face thing I've ever heard in my entire life. You know what I'm saying? And I think that there could be a notion of a disconnect in terms of whoever makes the decision to cut the stores off of Vita, right? Perhaps there's a disconnect from that team and the team that is managing development teams for developing Vita games, right? Like those that ship out the dev kits. Maybe there's a disconnect there, that they were not aware of what was coming either, you know, hence why they were shipping out dev kits, right? Maybe that could be the case, but still, ultimately, that doesn't excuse the lack of communication within PlayStation that is where we're at now. You know, like, bottom line, like, this is what happened. You know, so it sucks, man. It sucks.
It sucks.
Yeah, yeah, and trust me, we have a lot more bad Sony news to talk about as well.
Let's go.
Yeah. This is gonna be a pretty salty episode for sure, because I have some colorful thoughts. But yeah, overall, this shit sucks. I feel for the devs out there, you know. So I think the official last Vita game is going to be that one roguelike that I told you about, Scourgebringer, I think it's called. Scourgebringer. It's a roguelike. It's coming out on the 22nd. I believe that's officially like the last PlayStation Vita game. I think there might be one more, but I think it's that one. So yeah, man, sucks to suck, but we will see. We will see. Next up here, I just want to highlight this game because of course I just beat Final Fantasy 15, and this was the Project Athia game that was released. No, not released. Was announced at the Square Enix event recently, and it got a brand new name. It's called Forspoken, as we know already. But via a new PlayStation trailer for the game, they said that there's going to be more info about this game coming later this year. And the more I look at this game, man, the more I'm hyped about it, bro. Like I think this game looks fucking great. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to highlight that. You know, I don't know if you have any thoughts on it, but I thought it's looking pretty cool, and I can't wait to see more about this game. Coming to PlayStation 5 for a console exclusive, but also coming to PC as well.
You'll have to see it. I think it looks pretty solid.
Yeah. I'm excited. Especially like after playing 15, right?
Right.
And loving that combat, you know, and loving that that fucking warp strike or Arachnite. Satisfying, you know, satisfying as hell. We got some good Insomniac news as well this week. Don't know if you checked it out, but they did add a new suit to the game. So this is coming to PS4 and PS5 on Miles Morales. You will be getting the advanced tech suit, and it also includes a variety of different fixes for the game, as well as only on PS5. The update adds realistic muscle deformation on select suits. So what this does essentially is that it shows naturally Miles' character model. You can primarily see this in the shoulders. In some certain shots and cutscenes where it was looking a little bit flat in the build that we played early on, but now it's going to show more prominently like the actual muscle character model on those suits that will allow that to be, right? So did you get a chance to check out this new suit?
I did check it out. Owen actually DM'd me as soon as they posted it. Okay. How we feel about it? It's aight.
It's aight?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at it, like, it doesn't look, like, it looks sleek, like, it looks good, but it doesn't look like anything crazy, you know?
Like, there is no suit in Miles Morales currently that I would choose over the 2020 suit.
Right.
I love the 2020 suit, mostly because of the jacket.
Bro, I just love that visor, man. I love the headphones. Like, it's such a fucking good suit, bro.
It's
a good suit.
It is the best suit in the game, in my opinion.
I feel that. Yeah. So, Insomniac did that for Miles Morales, but they also did a little something that, honestly, I was kind of mad about. A little bit. They put 60 frames on Ratchet & Clank 2016 on PS5. This is right after I fucking streamed the fucking game, Arachnite.
Pain.
I could have streamed this shit in 60 frames. Fuck. God damn it. You know what I'm saying? But, hey, it looks fantastic now, dude. It looks great. Do you think you're going to be able to... I mean, do you think you'll play this? Because I mean, like, I assumed you redeemed it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, man. I think you might enjoy it.
Perhaps.
You know what I'm saying? You know, maybe a little bit closer to, maybe like a little bit near Rift Apart. You know,
Yeah.
And if it helps, it's a very short game. You can probably beat it in one sitting, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a 6-hour game, bro. It's really, really, really quick. You know, so why not, man? And also in 60 frames, so yeah, get to play it better than me. So
Pain.
Hate to see it. Next up here, of course, Arachnine's favorite game, Cyberpunk 2077. They say is getting, and by they I mean CD Projekt Red, is getting close to reveal it again on PlayStation stores. So they were asked about when the game would return to PlayStation Store, and the business development over at the studio named Michael Nowakowski, I think that's right, said, quote, "We have published several patches. We have just published a really big one yesterday, and we have published several hotfixes. Each and every one of them brings us closer to being back on the PSN store. However, the final decision, you have to understand, belongs to Sony. We do believe we are closer than further, but of course the final call is theirs, so let's wait and see." Arachnite, I think we should place a bet. Are you down to place a bet?
Let's hear what you got in mind.
Let's I mean, yeah, we usually bet. You know what? Let's lay out the wager first. Do you want the rules of the bet first or the wager first?
Let's hear the wager and then we'll talk about the rules.
See, because we always talk about games, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if we did something crazy, right? What if it's like, hey, I'll buy you a pizza.
Okay.
You know?
I can vibe with the pizza.
Winner buys the other one a pizza. Like, nothing crazy. We're not doing like a $70 game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, we'll save those for like Road 2 series and you know, different stuff like that. But like some save slot bets, they're you know, easy like Sunday morning, as one might say. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that Cyberpunk will be on the PlayStation Store until the PS5 version's ready. When do you think Cyberpunk will be on the PlayStation Store? You can say a month, you can say a year, you know, you know what? Probably not a year because that's too much time. You could say at max like a month. When do you think Cyberpunk is coming to the PSN store?
I was honestly thinking of between like 1 to 3 months. And I think they're gonna just try to get it out the door as quickly as possible, like to the state where it's like an acceptable state, but like where it's like, oh, we're not gonna wait till the PS5 version's done because we need this on the store right now.
Right.
So it's like it is now acceptable on a PS4 and runs well on a PS5, but the PS5 version you're gonna have to wait for.
Okay.
It is incredible how much of a disaster Cyberpunk was, that it changed how developers like promote their games, or like companies promote their games. Like even CD Projekt was like, we're not gonna announce games until we're like pretty decently in there.
Yeah, that they canceled the multiplayer portion of the game as well. You know, like a lot of stuff happened.
The multiplayer was gonna be fucking garbage. I'm glad they got rid of it. Like that gunplay in the game was garbage.
Oh man,
like hot trash. The multiplayer would have been awful. I'm glad they got rid of it. Like,
yeah, that, and like, didn't they say that they're working to also well, you know, our next story, I guess we don't have to talk about too much because we're covering it right now. Yes, there is a 1.2 patch available for Cyberpunk on PS4 and PS5. It's 44 gigabytes, so it's fucking big. Pause. There's like patch notes online that are multiple pages, I hear. I did want to ask you, Arakte, I know I just cut you off on your point, but did you check out the 1.2 update? I
know it exists, but Cyberpunk has been uninstalled since I was done with it.
I see. I see.
Right. I decided for myself, it's like, I'm not gonna replay it or go through it again until it's in a better state. And yikes. It's still, I know I just said it, but it's like, this game, in recent history, I'd say Cyberpunk was the biggest, like, holy shit, we fucked up in a long time in the game's, like, in-game development. Because the second closest thing I can think of is Anthem.
Yeah, it is interesting to see like which one's worse, Cyberpunk or Anthem. I think they're both pretty close, I'd say.
I'd say Anthem is a worse game, but the way that CD like promoted Cyberpunk made the bomb drop that much worse. Like Anthem is a worse game. Right. But Cyberpunk, like, they built it up. Like, I remember watching the Night City Wire or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, this game looks kind of interesting. And it looked like everything in Night City Wire is like, everything looked pretty solid and looked good and ran well and there was a lot to do. And then when you get to the actual game, it's like, you can't even go on a roller coaster. I think that's something they're patching in. Jesus, and that was in a Night City Wire. It's like, and it's like, yeah, no, the way that promoted the game made the bomb drop that much worse, and it changed things. It changed things forever. Like, it sucks. It's like they said they promoted the game as like, oh, this is gonna change RPGs forever. It's like, yeah, you're goddamn right, it did.
Yeah, it definitely changed the gaming landscape for sure. In a way that, you know, we've seen similar stories. Like, of course, you brought up Anthem, very similar story in terms of just like generally speaking. No Man's Sky as well, but this one definitely had the biggest ripples in the industry for sure. Absolutely. So when do you think we'll see, like, when am I going to be able to buy Cyberpunk 2077 on PSN? June. Okay, I like that. Okay, June 2021. Okay. I'm saying when the PS5 version drops. I think that's what it is. Like, I think that one, 100%, they have that on the store day one. Right? Their brand fresh coat of paint PS5 version. I feel like that way Sony and Cyberpunk and the dev team, right, can kind of distance themselves from the word PlayStation 4 version of Cyberpunk, right? Like, I think having the PS5 version is the way to do that, and I think that is when we will see it. Which I know sounds crazy because like you would think they want it up there as soon as possible, but I just don't know, bro. I just don't know if it's gonna make it. But June makes sense too because I can also see Arachnite, them coming out at Summer Games Fest or E3, or they do their own press conference, and they announce, hey, it'll be available next week on PlayStation Store, something like that, right? Yeah. I could definitely see that too, for sure.
I still think they're gonna just try and get it out the door because legally it'd be better for them. Instead, it's like we should wait for the PS5 patch to come out. It's like we need this to be acceptable legally. Right. And we shall see. We shall see.
Sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I'm done.
The bet is written down. A pizza is on the line. You know what I'm saying?
Let's go.
A pizza's on the line. And also, I'll throw in a pizza of your choice right there. I'm not gonna be a stingy motherfucker and send you like a fucking Lunchables pizza.
Oh, absolutely not. Like,
I'm not a fucking asshole. You know what I'm saying?
I was thinking like, how much do you like usually spend on a pizza? Because with a delivery and like all that, it's like $20 for me.
Yeah. If it's just me, if it's just me eating the pizza, right? I try to have restraint and exercise a little bit of restraint in terms of like the size of pizza I get. So I am one to, hey, if it's just your boy here chilling, I'll get the medium, not the like personal pan bullshit, not that small, but I'll get a smaller size pizza generally speaking for myself, right? So that ends up being about $16 delivery, right? So we're in the same ballpark. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
If I win the bet, I'm obviously not gonna make you do that. I am a pizza rat. Like, it is. You know how your family like knows, like it's like, oh, he's always done that, or it's like one of your characteristics.
Yes.
And like they not make fun of it, but they joke around with it. Since I was a baby, a bab, I was a pizza goblin. Like, I've always loved pizza. It's my favorite food.
Pizza's fire.
So, even if it's just me and I'm chilling, it's like, yeah, I'll get a large stuffed crust pizza.
Fuck yeah, bro. Fuck yeah.
And I'll just vibe with that. Like that's how I finished out Persona, like Persona 4. I started at like 4 p.m. and I didn't stop playing until like 4 a.m.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, man. I can't even like play games for like more than 3 hours straight. Like I have to get up and just like do something else. I don't know. But hey, more fucking power to you, bro. You know what I'm saying? I just have too much guilt to down like an extra large or like large pizza stuffed crust. Like, I just have too much guilt. It's not me. I'm sorry. It's not you. It's me. I'm the one with the problem.
Like, guilt is like, this is like 3,000 calories in a box.
Yeah. It's like, oh man, like, dude, that Kevin, like, you can't do this to your body. Like, you already put it through so much hell. It'd be like that sometimes.
With me, however, I go running just about every day.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm cool with it. Like, I'll burn like 1,500 calories in a workout. It's like, you know what? I've earned it.
Right. See, because you're sensible and you're smart. I'm a dumbass. Oh man, next up here, we got some news here involving The Last of Us show, HBO's next upcoming project, of course, and they are shooting in July. They just got reports in from CBC that they will be shooting in Calgary, Canada first, starting July, and they will be officially beginning July 5th, and it won't wrap up until June 8th of 2022.
Jesus.
So it's gonna be a full calendar year of filming, pretty much. At first I thought it was like odd, at like that seemed kind of long, right? But then I took into account, okay, yeah, this is a series, right? Like, it's not like it's a movie. I was thinking like a movie type of set times, you know? And I'm not going to sit here and claim that I know a lot about production and like how long it takes to shoot a series versus a movie, but that one felt long to me as well. But how do you feel about this? Like, if you know a little bit more, Arachnite, about that whole thing, like, is that a super long shoot for a show like this, like for HBO shows specifically, or what are your thoughts?
Don't have enough information to like say. It sounds long to those not very knowledgeable, such as myself. At least that's what I assume.
Yeah.
But when you think about the base game, it takes course over a calendar year.
It does. Yeah, that's what I thought too.
So they need time to like film in each kind of weather condition. And they could, like, depending on how long the series is, like, it takes time to do all of that. And it's not like you can, well, you could, but I believe they're trying to make it genuine. It's like, oh yeah, this is winter. It's like winter, spring, fall, and trying to really capture the seasons in the game, which I can respect. And I'm not like foaming at the mouth for the show. It's not like something I'm dying over. I'll be excited. It's like, oh yeah, it's coming out in like a month or two. It's like, cool, I'll check it out. But I'm not like foaming at the mouth for it right now. Like, I'm just gonna let them do their thing and hope it's good.
Yeah, I'm already thinking about content I'm making off of Arachnite, so you know, I'm in a similar hype boat. I'm a little bit more excited for it. You know what I'm saying? I just want to see, like, I just can't wait till we get like set pictures. You know, I think it was Druckmann, but he was talking about how he got to look at the animatronic for the fucking clicker, and he was blown away by it. I can't wait to see that. You know what I'm saying? But we also had a quote here about how this show will deviate from the main game. From Neil Druckmann, says, you quote, "In the game, there's so much action, you have to train the player about mechanics. You have to have more violence and more spectacle to some degree than you would need on a TV show, because you don't need to train people on how to use a gun that are watching the show." So that's something that's been really different. And HBO's been great in pushing us to move away from hardcore action and focus more on the drama of the character, which is great to hear, you know, because obviously the OG Last of Us, right, isn't known story-wise or like game-wise as a whole for its gameplay, right? The gameplay isn't incredible or groundbreaking in The Last of Us. It's that story, you know? So it's cool, man. It's cool. It's cool. So I'm very, very excited for that. Yeah, so I'll take a wild prediction. I bet we get a Last of Us trailer at Game Awards this year.
Yeah, that's 6 months.
I think 6 months in, I think that you can cut a fire trailer. You know, for sure. Absolutely. Dude, what if they recreate the first game trailer for Last of Us? You know, that could be kind of cool. That would be kind of cool. At least, or maybe like at least like similar shots, you know.
Yeah, something reminiscent.
Yeah. That it's gonna be neat. I just want to see my boy Pedro play fucking Joel. Let's go.
That's gonna be good.
Let's go. Hell yeah. Let's talk about E3. E3
that
2021.
Bullshit.
I have an interesting take, Arachnite. You know, but let's, you know what, before you crucify me for my take, possibly, let's go over what was reported here, because we do have some updates on this story as well. So there was some rumors going around via Video Game Chronicle that that you know, he was speaking to some sources that were familiar with this whole thing, and he reported that the firm was considering charging a $35 fee for a premium pass, which would include exclusive bonuses like on-demand game demos and others of the sort. And so then an ESA spokesperson came out very close to this whole thing coming out. Like, it was like maybe like an hour after. The ESA says, quote, "I can't confirm on behalf of the ESA that there will be no elements at E3 2021 that will be behind a paid for pass or paywall." So they seem to have completely negated that notion of a premium pass, you know? But there's still some question about that as well, because like I think it was the way they like well, here, let's read it one more time. So I can confirm on behalf of the ESA that there will be no elements at E3 2021 that will be behind the paid for pass or paywall. Yeah, so that's pretty definitive, right? That's pretty definitive. So, you know, whatever E3 is will remain free this year, right? But I gotta Arachnite. Let me kind of walk you through my thought process. Can I just take a little stroll with you really quick? You know, is that cool?
By all means.
You know, perhaps a light rain is happening. You know, some flowers. Right here we go. Right. For $35, if I was given access to play some of the demos that I would have played on the show floor, whether it be streamed using Google Stadia technology or, you know, whatever service they have, and it works for my setup, works for my internet, right? If I'm able to experience these demos for $35, as someone that cares a lot about these games, right? I know it's kind of shitty to say, Arachnite. I know it's kind of shitty to say. I think I would have paid that.
I understand.
Just for the demos, bro. Like,
I understand
if it was
demos.
Yeah, if it was $35 to watch E3, you got me fucked up. Hell no. You know, but the demos, I think that could be something that could be worth $35 for sure. What do you think?
I agree with the demos aspect. Like, if you told me, like, hypothetically, that I could have played some demos for like $35, like the Spider-Man PS4 demo or something like that, games such as those, I would pay $35 for that. I absolutely would. But
hell yeah,
but E3 has been these are the breaths of a dying man. Like,
true.
Like the last gasps of life. Because E3 was already dying, and then the pandemic happened, and then it started really dying. I think next year or the year after, and then it's a wrap. Like, Summer Games Fest, the directs, like Nintendo Direct, PlayStation Direct.
Xbox has one too, but I forgot what it's called.
Doesn't matter. Who cares? So, the desperate attempts of just trying to salvage whatever they can, even though it's leaving them behind. And honestly, I don't care. Goodbye.
Yeah. Like, it hurts, right? Because I'm sure your childhood dream was to go to E3.
Oh, absolutely.
But not this E3, right? Like, a traditional E3. You know what I'm saying?
We're talking like 2010 E3.
I would have fucking killed Arachnite to be at like E3 2013 when they unveiled the PS4. I would have fucking died to be there, you know? So yeah, like, you know, it does suck, and like I was trying to make some moves literally the year that PlayStation didn't go to actually go to E3, right? And it just never panned out because, you know, obviously a big portion of why I would go was to see that Sony conference, right? But yeah, like, yeah, again, you know, this is an interesting proposition. This is an interesting move. I think that if they're able to give demos to consumers digitally, right, I think that could be a interesting way to go about reshaping and reforming what E3 means, you know, and what E3 is, right? But I think, you know, as a sole place to have games be announced, right, I just don't know who's really, you know, going to sign on for E3, you know, because like you said, PlayStation has State of Play, Xbox has whatever the fuck that's called, Nintendo Directs, you know, EA Play, you know what I'm saying, Ubisoft has their own stuff. So like, and of course, Jeff Keighley, Summer Game Fest. You know, there's just so many other avenues now that, you know, have risen because of the pandemic and just because of just inevitability. Like, E3 was shifting even before the pandemic. The pandemic just accelerated E3's death, honestly, you know.
Absolutely.
Last thing here, the ESA also announced that they changed the name of E3. Now it's the Electronics Entertainment Experience instead of Expo.
I don't know.
Which, like, hey,
just let it die.
Ah, man. Which, like, you know, I mean, I guess that makes more sense if it's going to be a digital showcase, I guess, because you're not at a physical expo, but, you know, I don't know, man. R.I.P. E3, you know, R.I.P. R.I.P. Pour one out to the homie.
Pour one out.
Arachnet, we've arrived at the question of the week. I simply ask you, what is going on with PlayStation, Arachne? What is going on? Let's talk about this, okay? This broke yesterday. I was at work. I was chilling. I'm seeing all this MLB shit. I'm like, what the fuck is going on, right? So let's talk a little bit firsthand, Arachne, before we get into this whole rigmarole, right? I'm a pretty devout PlayStation fan. Arachne, I assume your favorite console is a PlayStation. Is that pretty correct?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So that's number one. Number two, I don't care about sports games, let alone MLB. Arachne, do you have a different perspective on sports games or MLB?
No.
Okay, same. Okay. As long as that's out there first, I think then we can go into our thoughts and opinions on this whole thing. Just keeping that on the top. Okay, so yes, we're PlayStation fans, but no, we don't really care about MLB, right? But what I do care about are PlayStation first-party games, right? Like that's my main focus on focusing on this whole story, is that yes, it is MLB The Show 21, and I don't necessarily care about MLB in itself, but this whole thing is intriguing because it is a first-party developed PlayStation game. Okay, let's go over the news that came out yesterday. So, it has been announced that the Sony developed MLB The Show 21 will be free at launch for Game Pass subscribers on both Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, and Xbox One, while the game will be sold at full price on PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4.
That doesn't rub me the right way. Like, that... If Sony had their own thing, I could see them doing both, but they don't have their own thing. It seems a little premature.
I've been wrestling with this a lot, right, over the past 24 hours. Like really trying to break down how I feel about this, right? And I think that, you know, I see no issue with what we have been seeing before this point, where, you know, we have Days Gone coming to PC coming up soon, right? A game that's 2 years old, right? We had Horizon Zero Dawn hit PC, right? 3 years old at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like, games that have, for the most part, exhausted their sales potential on the PlayStation platform, bringing it over to PC a few years later, I honestly do not have a problem with overall, right? This is something entirely fucking different that I cannot believe that this is a true statement. I can't believe it, you know. It is so wild to me, right? And I'm not sitting here and, like, I'm not gonna say, oh, I'm fucking mad at PlayStation, oh my god, like, I'm gonna go on this, I'm not gonna sign that dumbass petition that did you see that?
I did not.
There's a petition to remove Jim Ryan from CEO at Sony. You know what I'm saying? And even though I do have some opinions and thoughts about Jim Ryan, you know, I don't like him that much, to be honest. You know, I'm I'm not like I'm saying I'm not I'm because I really don't feel, and I'm trying not to come off like one of the crazy fanboys that are on Twitter, right? I'm just trying to sit down and really kind of take in that a first-party developed game is going to be on Game Pass at launch, while the consumers that have, you know, most likely own a PlayStation 4, own a PlayStation 5, and have any sort of interest in MLB 21, they have had that interest for I'm assuming a long time, right? Like there are, like, it's an annual franchise, right? So there are people that bought a PS5. I have friends. I mean, Arachnite, our very own, the real Deathly, right? My homie, my cousin, Billy, right? We did Road to Miles Morales.
I do remember
him, that entity, that person, you know, he loves MLB, right? Like, he plays it every year. So to have that group of people that have been supporting MLB for the longest time, you know, buy the PlayStation hardware to get access to MLB The Show, are now getting essentially slapped in the face because it's going to be essentially free on the competitor's console platform, is fucking wild to me. It's crazy. Blasphemy.
I don't know. It's Sony really needs to like try and develop something like the Game Pass, because then I could see it makes sense. But right now it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, again, you know, here's where we're going to get into some things that I've been tweeted about a lot. I've been DM'd a lot. This whole notion that, Kev, MLB on the Xbox side, you know, is published by MLB themselves, like Major League Baseball themselves, right? On the PlayStation side, it's published by Sony. So that's why there's a difference in terms of the Xbox version can debut on Game Pass, right? And, you know, we have to pay $70 if you're on a PS4 or a PS5. But I throw it back to Sammy Barker here. He has been doing excellent commentary on this whole thing. I want to read a little bit about what he had to say about that very same point, okay? If I may, Arachnite. Let me just read this really quickly, and we'll go into it. Sammy Barker, oh, by the way, link below in the description. Sammy Barker says, quote, "Some have tried to argue on social media today that the Japanese giant simply had no say in this matter. The title is published by MLB on Xbox platforms, but it seems unfathomable to us that Sony negotiated such a bad deal with the league that it couldn't even veto an Xbox Game Pass version of a product it created on launch day. Surely someone at PlayStation had the foresight to say, quote, please don't make us look bad by giving away our game on a competitor service at launch, unquote." I 100% agree. Like, people have been like excusing this whole thing and blowing it off and, like, you know, brushing off the fucking dust off their hands and saying that, oh, PlayStation had no idea that this was gonna happen. Sony had no idea that this was gonna happen. Sony is developing the fucking game. They signed deals to be able to allow this to happen. How is that so hard to understand for so many people? You know, like, it's not like because the game is published by MLB on the Xbox side, it's not like they fucking took the code, right, and did whatever they want with it. You know what I'm saying? Like without Sony's knowledge. They developed the fucking game. You know what I'm saying, Arachnite?
It's I don't know. It's gaming do be changing these last few years.
It is fucking crazy. It is crazy. Arachnite, if you ever told me that, hey, in 2021, a first-party PlayStation game will be released on Game Pass on launch day the same time as the PlayStation version, and that version will be $70 at retail and on digital services on PSN, I would think you're high, dude. I would think you're crazy. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I don't know what to think.
Yeah, dude, it's just fucking weird, man. And like, obviously, this isn't going to affect me firsthand because, once again, like I said before, I don't care about MLB. I was planning on buying MLB. I was actually gonna have the homie, the real Deathly, come on Save Slot and talk about MLB when it comes out, give us some impressions and all that, so we have some sort of coverage on the channel about it. But yeah, I mean, like, and again, like, another thing too, I guess, to bring up that may be a big portion of this is that it's not like Sony owns MLB. It's not like they own the IP of MLB, right? It's simply being licensed to them, right? And I don't know how much or less that actually has into play at this, but bottom line, it is not like Sony had no idea the terms of this deal. That's unbelievable to me. You know, like, there's no fucking shot that Sony had no idea that they were gonna obviously put this shit on Game Pass. And even if it wasn't explicitly said, I would assume that, hey, if you're going to sign a deal to have MLB The Show be on multiple platforms, and one of those platforms is Xbox, and everyone's been seeing for the past years now that clearly Microsoft and Xbox's focus is on Game Pass. You really don't think that they would put that shit on Game Pass anyway? You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I don't know. It's weird.
It is weird. I don't know. Like, is the age of exclusivity coming to an end? Probably not.
I don't know. Like, and then, like, again, I write that I'm gonna throw it to you first. I gotta ask this question now. I mean, do you think it's possible that this is not the last Sony PlayStation first party developed game that ends up being on Game Pass?
I don't think this is the last. They're probably just gonna choose which games are their, I don't know. Like, is MLB a system seller for most people? No. Like, sorry, go ahead. I was gonna say, it's like, I don't think we'll see Spider-Man there, but I do think we're gonna see less, I don't know, less tied to Sony. Like, Sony doesn't own MLB, they just make the games. That I could see being on Xbox. Like, things that aren't, like, directly Sony, I could see being on there. But I don't expect to see Spider-Man or Horizon. And if you put them on Xbox, you might as well put them on PC. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Yeah. I'm trying to find this tweet that... Oh my god, I'm going to hate myself if I can't find this tweet. I forgot to tweet it. I wish I saved it. I'm so stupid. Because it was a really good breakdown about the MLB sales figures. So MLB 20 last year. I'm gonna try and remember the numbers as close as possible, but it's somewhere around this, guys. I'm not saying exact numbers. I'm saying approximate numbers. Okay. MLB 20 last year was the 8th best-selling game on PlayStation. Right, and it was also the 18th best-selling game of the year. Okay, now you got to also take into account that MLB The Show, while it doesn't get a lot of buzz in terms of like, oh, it's not in like the conversation of like, you know, God of War, Spider-Man, etc., right? Like it's not on that caliber, but what it is that it's Sony's only annualized franchise, right? That also so happens to have microtransactions, and they make a boatload of money on MLB in the back end in the microtransactions by selling cards and all that good stuff, and of course upfront with the cost of the game, annually speaking, right? On top of that, it is the only place to play AAA baseball in the games industry right now. You know? So, it is a very important IP and property for PlayStation in itself, even though it doesn't get a lot of buzz like God of War, Spider-Man, etc., right? So for them to sign a deal where they're okay with putting this game on the competitor's fucking service, that is their biggest cash cow, MLB, from a means of like consistent basis, like from a means of just annual revenue, MLB is a very safe game to always put out, that Sony San Diego always puts out every year, and it makes a boatload of money for them every year. It's a very consistent, stable franchise, right? And you give that to the competitor for Game Pass? What the fuck are we doing?
More money, I guess.
And like that's the thing too, right? Like, and to answer the question that I posed to you, do I think this is the last? I don't know, but I can see it, right? I don't know, because the argument against it is that, hey, this is, you know, to not disrespect MLB as a game, to not disrespect the other games within the PlayStation first party, right? MLB The Show is the IP that is most used for generating revenue. You know what I'm saying? So if one of the main points of MLB existing is a revenue stream, why not open that bitch up more? Right? Like, I can see that being the cause and case as to why this will be the only one. But dude, like, I no longer say with PlayStation that, like, oh, this is the only one. I don't talk in absolutes about PlayStation anymore, honestly, because anything can fucking happen now at this rate. You know what I'm saying? Remember when we thought it was crazy that Bethesda would ever be fucking bought, and then Microsoft just bought them? You know what I'm saying? Like the industry is changing. You're absolutely right. Like, you started off saying that, and I 100% agree, right? So if it's, but to go back, like if it's simply just because MLB, a lot of its push is because it's an easy cash cow, next to, of course, being a good baseball game as far as I'm aware, right? I guess I could see that be the reasoning, right? But on the opposite end, it's like, yo, that's one of their most important IPs. So what's stopping them from putting God of War on fucking Game Pass, Ragnarok, Spider-Man? Like at this point, what's the reasoning for that? What's stopping them at that point?
I don't think there is. And honestly, like, I know people are kind of rabid about exclusives. I don't know. I've been saying it on this show for weeks now. But let the consumer choose your console because it's a better console, not because of the games you put out. Like, you go to a restaurant and the main course is and the main course is only good because of the sauces or the sides. It's like, oh, I only order this because I like the sides. What if you could put those sides on an order that you prefer? Like, it's kind of like, if the only reason people are buying your console are because of the games you put out or the games that are exclusive to your console and not the merit of the console itself, then it's not a good console, and that's something you should work on. So, if you buy it, like, I bought an Xbox One just for Dead Rising, and I regret that decision every day. Like, if you told me that Dead Rising 3 was going to be on PS4 and Xbox One, I would never have bought an Xbox. Because the PS4 was a better console.
Right.
If you put availability, like, oh, Spider-Man, Miles Morales, like, it runs faster on a PS5 than it does on Xbox Series X, and you get haptic feedback, that's enough for me to lean in the direction of the PlayStation. It's you promote and incentivize people to buy your console based on the merit of the technology within the console, not on the software that comes periodically throughout the console's lifespan. So, if you were to put God of War Ragnarok on Xbox and PlayStation, and I didn't have either, I would still go with a PlayStation. Because I prefer the specs on a PS5 than I do the specs on an Xbox Series X. And for other people, it may be different. I just think exclusives are kind of dumb. Like, let people play what they want, where they want.
Yeah, like this is where we kind of disagree, to be honest, right? Like, right now, like, I don't know, like, to go back to the restaurant analogy, right? Like, you brought up, like, within the one restaurant, right? Like, being able to put sides on, like, a bunch of different entrees, right? But there's a reason why people like oregano's, people like Olive Garden, people like Applebee's, right? Like, it's not just because the sides, it's because the entrees that they provide, right? Like, if you want a you know, what I'd call a good / decent chicken Alfredo, right? If I could get it anywhere, that kind of loses the luster of Olive Garden, right? Like, if I want a New York slice, right? There's a reason why New York pizzeries are so renowned and loved, because they make good shit. You know what I'm saying? And if I can get that anywhere and everywhere, that loses the luster of that specific place in Manhattan where I could get a great New York slice. You know what I'm saying? And, like, it was a conversation that I had on the PlayStation Trophy Room with those guys over there. Shout out to them. You know, we were talking about, like, the reason why I feel like exclusivities are important to a platform is because it creates the culture of that platform. You know, and, like, I know the amount of culture that you have doesn't necessarily mean to dollars and cents, right? But I think it does lead to a consumer base that is passionate and that want to support that culture, if it's a good culture. But, you know what I'm saying?
To the example of it, there are lots of different restaurants out there that serve the same dish. Let's go with something easy and universal, like a cheeseburger or a pepperoni pizza.
Okay, I gotcha.
Every restaurant, or a lot of restaurants, make the same dish, but are, like, they're made up differently. I can get a pizza at Pizza Hut, Domino's, or Papa John's. They're all pepperoni pizzas, but each one of them tastes different. Like, you go to one, I want a pepperoni pizza, I'm not going to just choose whichever restaurant. I have a preference. I have a preference based on, like, what they use to make the dish. Like, and the console being that dish. Like, they use the way that it's constructed specifically, whether it be for power, raw power, like in the Series X, or speed in the PS5. It has a different flavor, and it has something different that they're offering. It's the same dish, it's a video game console with the same, like, with some of the same ingredients, like just cheese and pepperoni. But it's made differently.
Okay.
And you have a preference towards a specific one. So I think that people should be able to, like, if you're a diehard Xbox fan, I think you should be able to play Spider-Man. Because if I was an Xbox fan, I would have bought a PS4 for Spider-Man. And choking somebody is like, hey, buy our console for exclusives or never play them. Sucks. Because a lot of people just can't really, they can't afford a second console. And if I was an Xbox fan and I couldn't afford a PlayStation console to play Spider-Man, I would have been heartbroken. And I'm sure there are people out there that have experienced that. And I don't know. You build a culture, but you can also build that same culture with PlayStation Studios. It's like, these are the games that we get from PlayStation Studios and PlayStation first parties. And you build a culture surrounding by the companies and the content that they make, instead of it's like, oh, it's all in this melting pot of a console. It's like, people out there could, like, say, hey, I played God of War on my Xbox, but it runs a little too slow for my preference based on the console's hardware. I prefer 60 frames and faster loading times, so then they get a PlayStation. You give somebody the same experience on different consoles, they'll have a preference.
Right.
So, I think it should be the merit of your games and the way that you treat your consumers, like the consumers, that draws someone to each console, whether it be PlayStation or Xbox. So, and I don't know. I think it's only fair. I don't care much for exclusives. And honestly, like in saying this, everything I've said, how do I phrase it without being an asshole?
Oh no, please do.
Okay, so we like PlayStation has the better exclusives. We are extending a hand down to Xbox. We are not reaching up. It's like, please share your games, Xbox. It's like for my console preference, it's we are willing to share what we have with you, peasant.
Like, I've seen people tweet that out, and I suppose that's the way to look at it, right? Like, I mean, you're not wrong, right? But it's the whole proposition of like, it'd be like, it's the proposition of just it being on Game Pass is the main differentiator here, you know, where it's like you can play MLB 21 now for $10 a month on Game Pass if you want, or pay $70 on the platform that it's homemade for. And like, I get what you're saying about exclusivity, right? And like, I don't even necessarily like even disagree with what you're saying in totality. I think the last thing that we haven't hit on about exclusive games, and I think like the last point I really want to make on that, because I think that we just don't view that in the same lens, and that's okay, right? Like I totally see your point and respect your point, right? But I think the last thing I'll say about exclusivity, right, is that I don't think The Last of Us Part 2 would look as good if it had to be developed for multiple platforms. I don't think Ghost of Tsushima would look as good and play as good or be as good if it was being developed for multiple platforms. You know, the fact that Sony owned studios and Microsoft owned studios can make experiences cultivated and, you know, refined and specifically made for the hardware that they own is what is a driving factor at making those games of a much higher quality, right? Like, there is no third-party game in my mind right now that I know runs as good, looks as good, is refined as good, has the feature set than The Last of Us Part 2 in terms of, you know, accessibility, in terms of the overall game as a whole. The way that game runs on a PS4 is fucking beyond me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if like, we just haven't seen that before.
Is it?
You know what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense to you?
Yeah,
like the fact that they're able to focus on one hardware SKU that is a big factor into what makes those games so great. I'm not saying it's the only thing, but it's one of those aspects.
It's an excellent point. I have to agree with you. That is an excellent point. But that raises a question. Is it the merit of the developer working with exclusive hardware, or is it just the developer's capability in general? Because a solution that came to mind almost immediately was timed exclusivity. Last of Us Part 2, you get a year on the PlayStation console that gives Naughty Dog B team time to port it, if that is an issue. However, Naughty Dog, I feel, would be capable of releasing the same, like, quality. Let's say, okay, we made it for Xbox and PlayStation. The PlayStation 1 will probably run better, but not significantly. Like, almost not noticeable. Because it is the quality of the developer and what they do and how well they are at their skill. Because when you think of third parties that think of what they develop games for each console, I think of CD Projekt Red, I think of Ubisoft, and I think of EA. The Witcher 3 looked great on every console. Now moving on to Ubisoft games, those games look ugly as sin.
Bitch. Valhalla's amazing, but no, go ahead.
Valhalla looks like ass. I'm gonna be.
I hate you so much. I fucking hate you.
Rough. It is. That's rough. But that's just Ubisoft. Ubisoft games never look good.
False.
Absolutely correct. But that's just something you get with an Ubisoft game. You get mediocrity.
Damn.
Except
it's like that, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't remember a single Ubisoft game that I've been blown away by.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I see how it is.
Yeah, it's correct. And EA, they also don't put out stellar looking games. Like, they look good, but they're not like amazing. And that could be it's like, oh, we're trying to make it for every platform, and that's why it just doesn't look great. Or it's just EA and what they do. And that is what it is. But I'd like to see that theory tested. Is it the developer, or is it the keeping things universal that limits games? And I would love to see that.
Yeah. Like, I think the two, is it more of the fact that they're on one singular hardware, or is it the quality of the development team, right? Mm-hmm. In terms of their skill set. Like, I think you have a great point in that too, and that, like, I think it's both. I think it's both factors, right? I mean, but like, there have been great Naughty Dog devs that made Uncharted 4, made Uncharted 3, etc., made The Last of Us, and have gone on to work at, Stadia, work at Microsoft. There's some Naughty Dog employees at the Initiative, I think it's called. And yet we haven't seen their game yet, so that remains to be seen. Wait, is it Perfect Dark?
I think it was Perfect Dark.
Yeah. So I mean, we only saw like a non-gameplay trailer, right? So that stands to be seen. But I do think that you're right. Yeah, like, of course, some of it is the quality of developer, right? But I think also it's the another part, whether bigger or smaller than the quality of the dev team, is that they're able to focus on one console and focus on one hardware SKU and really get to learn and know that. Like, if Naughty Dog was multi-platform, Arachnite, here's a perfect example. If Naughty Dog was multi-platform, there's no way we see them develop Uncharted 1 and then The Last of Us within the PS3. That's years and years of them getting used to the PS3, getting used to that OS, getting used to how to develop on the PlayStation 3, and they're able to stretch out that game and stretch out that hardware to refine it to eventually reach a Last of Us quality. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that happens to that degree if you have to develop for multiple platforms. I just don't think that's just how it works, And this is also from someone that has never developed a game in their entire fucking life and has no idea what they're talking about in terms of development. But I know that to be true, that like they learn the platform as they go on over the years, right? Which, by the way, Arachnite, I fucking love this conversation. This is a great conversation that we're having, for sure.
Agreed.
For sure, But yeah, I mean, like, at the end of the day, to tie it all in a nice little bow, I think it's fucking weird that MLB The Show 21 is launching on Game Pass.
I agree.
I think it's, like Greg Miller tweeted out, it's a great look for Xbox, it's a great look for Microsoft. It is a fucking horrible look for PlayStation. Horrible look, man. So I don't know. And like, what's I think the last thing I'll say, Arachnite, right, is that if So you got to assume that Jim Ryan signed this deal, right? Signed this publishing deal with MLB. Hey, with 21, where we want to go multi-platform, right? And if you want to retain development rights to develop the show at 21, right, and make 100% profits on PS4, on PS5, right, make all that and have all the positives of having MLB The Show being developed in-house, as well as getting 70% of every dollar that is made on other platforms, right? You gotta sign on this dotted line, and we're gonna do what we want and publish the game on other platforms besides PlayStation, right? I just don't think that the executive before Jim Ryan, which I forget his name, I'm sorry, but the executive before Jim Ryan, right? I don't think that they would have signed off on this. I think a traditional Sony would have either fought this tail and teeth and bone, tooth and nail, whatever that is, or they would have just given up the rights and just not develop it. Because no, like a like classic Sony, I feel like would have been like, why the fuck would you want me to put a game that I developed on an opposing platform service? That is dumb. No, right? Like that's what I would imagine a traditional classic Sony would have said with that, because they don't play nice. That's just how Sony fucking is. You know, it is what it is, right? So to have what I imagine Jim Ryan was involved in this deal, right? So I gotta imagine that, like, if he's okay with doing this, I don't think anything's off the table, you know. And I think that's the last thing I gotta say about this topic. Agreed. You know, it's just really weird to me. And we're gonna see, man. You know, we're gonna see if this is purely just a fiscal decision. You know, like, all right, but I could easily see you thinking, oh yeah, this is it, but then, you know, seeing Spider-Man sell 18, 20 million units and be like, damn, how much could it sell if we throw that shit on fucking Microsoft? You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's interesting. Very interesting, you know. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. But you got any closing thoughts on this topic, Ragnar? Any last things you want to get off the chest before we head out on this fine Saturday?
I'm excited.
Or I guess Sunday. Oh yeah, it's fucking Easter. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Yeah, happy Easter, guys. Shit.
I'm excited to see where the future of gaming takes us.
Yeah, it's I think you said this a few episodes back, but like, I think you said something like, you know, this generation is going to be super interesting, and I see how interesting this generation is actually going to be. You know, it's going to be an interesting 7 years.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But at that rate, Arachnite, where can people find you?
I am on the PlayStation Source Discord with the link in the description. I am on Twitter at well, I changed my @.
Really?
I did.
What's your @?
Man Without Fear.
Oh shit, I gotta fucking update that in the fucking description. Okay, well, I see you.
It's Man Without Fear was taken, so it's just M Without Fear. On those Daredevil vibes. But you can find me there. You can find all my photo mode stuff. If you like it, retweet it. If you got any recommendations on how to improve my shots, I'd love to hear them. I've been putting in work. I've been trying to study photography. Like, photo mode really started my love for photography. So yeah, that's it for me.
You'll love to see it. You'll love to see it. Can you link me your URL for Twitter really quick?
Okay, yeah.
Did your Discord name change? No, right?
No, it's still the Arachnite.
Okay, and your Twitch is probably the same too?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. You just hit me with a new Twitter. We'll definitely get that updated. Or maybe this link will just switch over to the new one. I bet. Will it? No, it doesn't. It says it doesn't exist. Okay, bet. Got it. Got it right there. Got it right there. All right then. M without fear. You fucking love to see it. You love to see it. But as I switch this over, this has been Saves Lot Podcast, episode 11. Once again, you can catch us here on YouTube.com/PlayStation Source, as well as podcast services like Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, and etc. via our anchor link in the description. You can, of course, like the video and or rate the podcast to help us get seen by more viewers so we can grow the PSS family. Down below, let us know what you like, what you dislike about the show, and connect with us further on Twitter and Discord in that description, as well as if you're feeling generous. If you're feeling kind on this Easter Sunday, feel free to hit that join button to become a member of the channel with that $1 Prince tier and that $5 King tier member if you like that as well. Also, make sure to not miss the stream series throughout the week as well. We have streams on Resistance 2 starting up next week, as well as the end of Metal Gear Solid 3. I think the MGS3 stream right now is going to be long as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because, as you know, Kojima tends to go off on the beat on the last few hours on his games, right? So I'm expecting a lot of, a lot of sitting, a lot of just watching some cutscenes, and I hear it's worse than MGS4. So I hear.
Get hyped.
So I'm a little bit concerned that the gameplay to cutscene ratio in MGS4, but we'll see how that thing goes. We'll see how that thing goes. So definitely check out those streams throughout the week, and definitely expect future content. I think we're gonna delve into a little bit of Returnal coverage these next few weeks leading up to release. You know what I'm saying? So we might be having that as the main focus of the save slots moving forward for a little bit. So definitely get ready for that. And yeah, that's about it, guys. Thank you all for watching, and as always, greatness awaits. See you later, guys.